Have you ever felt it? That quiet, persistent hum beneath the surface of your life, a subtle whisper that perhaps, despite all your diligent efforts, all your hard-won achievements, all the carefully constructed pillars of your existence, something is still profoundly missing. It's a feeling many of us know intimately, an elusive sense of unease that can settle in even during moments of joy, celebration, or apparent fulfillment. Perhaps you've meticulously chased success, poured your very essence into profound relationships, sought thrilling adventures across continents, or meticulously curated a life that, on paper, appears utterly perfect. And yet, beneath it all, there it is, that hollow space, that nagging void, that persistent, unanswered question echoing in the quietest corners of your mind. Is this truly all there is to it? Is there not something more profound, something deeper to grasp? It's a yearning that social media can't quite fill, consumer goods can't satisfy, and even the most meaningful connections can't entirely erase. This isn't, as some might assume, a new phenomenon, a modern malaise born purely of our hyper-connected, often overwhelming 21st century world. Far from it. Imagine, if you will, a man living some 1600 years ago. His world was utterly alien to our own. No internet, no instant gratification, vastly different societal norms, deeply divergent cultural landscapes, and beliefs that might seem foreign to us today. Yet, in the deepest recesses of his own intricate soul, he wrestled with precisely the same profound, existential questions that echo in our hearts today. He felt that very same pervasive restlessness, that same gnawing sense of something missing, even as he vigorously climbed the ladders of ambition, indulged deeply in worldly pleasures, and grappled with the most sophisticated intellectual currents of his time. He was a man driven not just by a thirst for knowledge, but by an insatiable, almost desperate search for genuine meaning, for a lasting peace that continually, frustratingly, eluded him. He tried everything, embracing and discarding different philosophical schools, experimenting with various lifestyles, even exploring alternative spiritual paths, desperately hoping each new avenue would finally fill that unshakable, fundamental void within. He describes himself as being tormented by the fear of death, and the fear of judgment, and the fear of losing what he loved, a sentiment that, despite the passage of centuries, remains strikingly relatable. In this journey we're about to embark upon, we're not merely going to dissect a dusty, archaic text. We're inviting you to join us on an immersive exploration into one of history's most unflinchingly honest, profoundly human, and utterly transformative life stories ever recorded. This isn't abstract philosophical theory for theory's sake, relegated to the ivory tower. This is the raw, vivid, and profoundly relatable autobiography of a soul in constant, agonizing turmoil, a man who, against all societal expectations and personal inclinations, dared to lay bare his deepest struggles, his most embarrassing mistakes, his most fervent, often misguided desires. He meticulously documented his restless heart, his relentless, often misguided pursuit of happiness, and his ultimate, life-altering reckoning with the true source of contentment. It's a narrative of pride and humility, of error and redemption, of confusion and clarity, a story that resonates because it speaks to the very core of what it means to be human. What if the profound answers he ultimately discovered, forged through years of intense searching, agonizing self-doubt, profound introspection, and even moments of utter despair, are precisely the answers we, in our own multifaceted modern quests, are still unknowingly, perhaps desperately seeking? What if the arduous path he blazed through the wilderness of his own spiritual and intellectual uncertainty, holds not just historical intrigue, but profound, actionable insights for our contemporary struggles with purpose, identity, anxiety, and that elusive inner peace. His story isn't just a historical artifact to be admired from afar. It's a timeless mirror, held up to reflect back the universal human condition, our perpetual striving for significance, and our enduring, inextinguishable hope for something more. His journey teaches us that the fundamental questions of human existence have remained constant, and perhaps the enduring wisdom he uncovered might just be the light we're still looking for. Join us as we delve into a narrative that transcends centuries, offering not just an account of one man's quest, but a potential transformative roadmap for our very own. When you hear St. Augustine, what comes to mind? Probably a stern saint, maybe a dusty old theologian, someone relegated to the history books or seminary halls. But what if I told you his most famous work, Confessions, isn't what you expect at all? What if it's one of the most raw, honest, and profoundly human autobiographies ever written, a book that resonates just as powerfully today as it did over 16 centuries ago? Forget the halo for a moment. Picture instead a brilliant, restless, incredibly intelligent young man grappling with ambition, love, lust, philosophy, and a deep, unsettling search for meaning. Augustine of Hippo was undoubtedly a towering intellect of his time, a foundational figure in Western thought. But before he became the revered St. Augustine, he was simply Augustine, a passionate student, a devoted lover, a searching philosopher, a son who often caused his mother great sorrow, a man deeply, messily human in every sense of the word. His Confessions isn't some dry, theological treatise designed to bore you with ancient dogma. It's arguably the first true autobiography in Western literature, a groundbreaking work where he lays bare his soul, his mistakes, his doubts, his temptations, and his excruciating journey, not just the pious end goal. He talks candidly about stealing pears for the sheer thrill of rebellion, about his years of living with a concubine and raising a child out of wedlock, about his intellectual pride, his struggles with commitment, his agony over searching for truth in all the wrong places. It's less about the destination of sainthood and far more about the agonizing, beautiful, and often very relatable path he took to get there. When I first picked it up, I admit, I expected a duty read. Something to check off the classics list, perhaps a heavy dose of spiritual instruction. But I was utterly floored by how modern it felt, not in language, of course, but in its emotional honesty and psychological depth. Here was a man, writing over 1600 years ago, grappling with questions about identity, purpose, desire, temptation, and the relentless search for meaning that we still wrestle with today. His internal monologues, his moments of profound self-doubt, his sudden flashes of insight, they resonated in ways I never anticipated. I found myself thinking, wait, he felt that asterisk? I feel that asterisk? It wasn't a dusty historical artifact, it was a surprisingly intimate mirror reflecting universal human experiences. So, why are we diving into this particular ancient book right now? Because my goal here isn't to give you a lecture on Augustinian theology, nor is it merely a history lesson. My goal is to explore how this extraordinary, deeply personal account of one man's struggle to understand himself, his world, and his place within it, continues to speak directly to us. This isn't a classroom, it's a conversation. A conversation about life, about love, about ambition, about failure, about self-discovery, and about finding your way when the path isn't clear. Augustine's Confessions offers us not just history, but a profound and timeless look into the human heart. And I think you'll find, as I did, that his journey might just shed some unexpected light on your own, whatever path you're currently on. We often begin our journeys into profound thought with a simple observation, a universal truth that echoes across centuries. For our exploration of John Locke's second treatise of government we start not with abstract political theory, but with a deeply human sentiment, one that many have articulated in various forms throughout history. It's the aching sense of something missing, a persistent drive that pushes us forward, even when we don't know exactly where we're going. This feeling finds its most eloquent expression in a phrase that, while famously attributed to the theologian Augustine, perfectly encapsulates a fundamental aspect of the human condition that Locke, in his own way, seeks to address. You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in you. Now, while Locke's monumental second treatise doesn't open with these exact words, the profound idea behind them, this innate human restlessness, is a crucial undercurrent to his entire philosophical project. Augustine, in his deeply personal and spiritual journey, saw this restlessness as a divine longing, a soul yearning for its creator. But strip away the theological framework for a moment, and what remains is a profound psychological insight, a deep, existential yearning that defines us. It's an inner ache for purpose, for meaning, for completion, that seems to be hardwired into the human experience. We are creatures always in motion, perpetually seeking something beyond our immediate grasp. Think of it as the ultimate human operating system, forever running a background process of seeking. This isn't just a spiritual quest, it manifests in every facet of our lives. It's the sensation that life should offer that there's a better state of being just around the corner, a final piece of the puzzle that will make everything fall into place. In Locke's time, this restlessness was certainly present, perhaps manifesting in the desire for greater security, for the protection of one's labor and property, for the rational ordering of society. For Locke, the inherent rights to life, liberty, and property aren't just abstract concepts. They are the very conditions under which humans can attempt to find some measure of stability, where they are free to pursue their interests without constant fear or arbitrary interference. His work, in essence, is a blueprint for a society that channels this human drive, providing the structures within which individuals can productively pursue their own fulfillment, moving from the chaotic state of nature to a more settled and secure civil society. Fast forward to the modern era, and this fundamental restlessness has only intensified, amplified by the relentless pace of contemporary life. We live in a world that constantly promises more. More choices, more opportunities, more experiences, more possessions, more connection, yet, paradoxically, often delivers more anxiety, more dissatisfaction, and a deeper sense of never quite being enough. Consider the ubiquitous scroll on our smartphones. It's an almost perfect analogy for modern restlessness. We scroll endlessly, swiping through curated feeds, seeking a new notification, a new piece of information, a new image or video that will finally satisfy that fleeting desire for novelty or connection. We consume content, but true absorption or lasting contentment often eludes us, leaving us feeling vaguely unfulfilled, ready for the next scroll. It's a pursuit without a destination, a constant cycle of desire and fleeting gratification. Then there's the consumerist treadmill. We are told that happiness resides in the next purchase, the newest gadget, the bigger house, the faster car, the trendiest fashion. We work harder to acquire these things, believing that once attained, they will bring that elusive rest. But the satisfaction is often temporary, quickly replaced by the desire for the next new thing, fueling an endless cycle of production and consumption, chasing a moving target of perceived happiness. Even our ambitions, admirable as they are, can become manifestations of this restlessness. The constant pursuit of career advancement, the drive for higher status, the pressure to achieve more, earn more, be more, it's all part of this relentless search for a point of arrival, a moment when we can finally say, "I've made it. I can rest now." But for many, that moment never truly comes. The finish line continually recedes, replaced by a new, more distant horizon. This inherent human drive, this dissatisfaction with the status quo, this yearning for something more or something better is not inherently negative. In fact, it can be a powerful engine for progress, innovation, and self-improvement. But without a framework, without understanding its nature, it can also lead to perpetual unease, to instability, and to a constant struggle to find equilibrium. It is this profound, universal human experience, this restless heart, that Locke, through his philosophical lens, attempts to understand and address within the structure of civil government. How do we create a society where individuals, driven by this internal yearning, can nevertheless find peace, security, and the freedom to pursue their own version of rest without infringing upon the rights of others? How do we build a system that acknowledges this fundamental human truth and provides a stable foundation for human flourishing? These are the questions that Locke, in his second treatise bravely confronts. Welcome back to our exploration of John Locke's foundational ideas. While Locke grounds his theories of government in reason and natural rights, understanding the deeper, sometimes irrational impulses of human nature is equally crucial. To truly grasp what motivates us and what therefore necessitates government, will turn, for a moment, not to Locke, but to an ancient, profound tale from the youth of St. Augustine. In his Confessions Augustine recounts a seemingly trivial act from his youth, one that haunted him precisely because of its triviality. He was a restless teenager. One hot, moonlit night, he and his friends, with a mischievous glee, passed a pear tree heavy with fruit. Not particularly good pears, he notes, certainly not out of hunger, as they had plenty to eat. Yet, they decided to climb that tree, shake down its pears, gather as many as they could carry, and then, with shocking disregard, fling most of them to the pigs. A few, perhaps, they nibbled, but the vast majority were simply wasted, an act of wanton, gratuitous theft. Why? Augustine wrestled with this question for years. He wasn't driven by hunger, need, or even a desire for the fruit itself. His chilling conclusion: he loved the wrongdoing itself. As he confessed, "My sin was to love the sin." He found a perverse pleasure in transgressing, in the very act of defying what was right, simply because it was wrong. It was the thrill of breaking a boundary, of asserting a perverse freedom by committing an act that offered no tangible benefit, only the illicit satisfaction of the forbidden. This isn't merely an ancient anecdote, it's a profound psychological insight into a darker corner of the human psyche. Haven't we all, at some point, felt that pull, The urge to press a do not touch button, to take a shortcut we know is wrong, to utter a sharp remark just to see a reaction, even if it hurts. This Augustinian impulse resonates deeply with modern phenomena like self-sabotage, the student who procrastinates on a crucial assignment knowing the consequences, or the fleeting, anonymous cruelty of online trolls whose sole motivation seems to be the disruption and distress they cause. It's the desire to do something just because you can, even if it's illogical, destructive, or ultimately unfulfilling. It's the raw assertion of will against order, a flirtation with chaos for its own sake. Crucially, there's the amplifying effect of the group. Augustine explicitly states he would never have stolen those pears alone. The presence of his friends transformed a latent impulse into a shared, exhilarating conspiracy. Peer pressure often isn't direct coercion, it's a powerful desire for belonging, for shared experience, for validation within a collective. The joy of transgression becomes communal. The laughter, whispered plans, shared glances of complicity, these create a potent cocktail that can override individual morality and rational thought. In a group, responsibility diffuses. An individual's moral compass can be swayed by the collective drift. We see this in everyday social dynamics, how a crowd can escalate a protest, the bandwagon effect of public opinion, or the echo chambers of online communities where shared defiance hardens into groupthink. The desire to fit in, to be part of something, to experience that shared frisson of naughtiness can be an incredibly powerful motivator, leading individuals to commit acts they would never contemplate in solitude. This exploration of Augustine's stolen pears serves as a powerful reminder: human beings are complex. We are capable of profound reason and noble ideals, as Locke would argue, but we also harbor these darker, irrational impulses: the love of wrongdoing, the susceptibility to group dynamics. These aren't just philosophical curiosities, they are fundamental aspects of our nature that governments, laws, and moral frameworks must contend with. Understanding them is critical for building a society that can both harness our potential for good and mitigate our capacity for self-destruction. Welcome to Chapter 3. Chains of Habit, Love and Ambition. In exploring profound ideas, we often turn to thinkers who openly wrestled with their humanity. Today, we delve into the intensely personal struggles of Augustine of Hippo. While his name evokes piety, his early life was far from it. Imagine a brilliant young man, intellectually gifted, burning for knowledge and worldly success, yet deeply entangled in desire. This was Augustine in his youth, a surprisingly modern figure. He navigated Roman North Africa, his mind alive with philosophical inquiry, but his spirit often heavy with internal contradiction. From a young age, Augustine experienced a potent tension, the pursuit of higher truth clashing with sensual gratification. He craved intellectual and professional advancement, driven by ambition towards a promising career. But alongside this ran a deep current of carnal desire. He confessed to seeking pleasure, struggling to reconcile ideals with earthly demands. Despite exploring various philosophies, he repeatedly fell short, caught in a cycle of indulgence and regret, a testament to habit's persistent power. This internal conflict wasn't abstract, it was embodied in his intimate life. For 15 years, he shared his life with a woman, his concubine. With her, he fathered a son, Adiadetus, whose very name, meaning given by God, speaks to the profound love Augustine felt. This was a long-term partnership marked by genuine affection and shared experience. Yet ambition and societal expectations weighed heavily. His devout mother, Monica, pushed for a socially acceptable marriage, aligning with his rising status and Christian tradition. This pressure, combined with Augustine's evolving spiritual convictions, created an agonizing dilemma. The decision to separate from his beloved concubine, the mother of his cherished son, was an act of immense pain. He later wrote of it as a wrenching experience, a piece of his heart being torn away. This choice, driven by a perceived higher good, left a deep scar, highlighting the sacrifices often demanded by profound change. His sorrow, even moving towards spiritual enlightenment, reminds us that transformation rarely comes without cost, especially when it involves those we hold dear. Augustine's personal struggles also gave birth to one of his most enduring insights, the concept of chains of habit. He understood how repeated actions, physical or psychological, gradually weave an unbreakable fabric that binds us. What starts as a seemingly innocuous choice, a moment of indulgence, a minor deviation can, through repetition, calcify into powerful addiction. He spoke of being ensnared by lust, worldly ambition, and the allure of reputation, even as his intellect yearned for something purer. These weren't mere intellectual vices, they were visceral attachments that held him captive. He articulated how these chains, initially fine and almost imperceptible, grow thicker and stronger with each repeated action, each succumbed temptation, until they feel impossible to break. His famous prayer, "Grant me chastity and continence, but not yet," perfectly encapsulates this internal conflict. He desired virtue, he knew its value, yet immediate gratification and familiar sin held him. Breaking these chains, he understood, required not just intellectual assent, but a profound reordering of the will, a grace that he felt was beyond his own strength. This struggle with chains of habit is profoundly relatable. Who among us hasn't felt the pull of procrastination, unhealthy comfort, or external validation, even when it contradicts deeper aspirations? Augustine's account humanizes the universal experience of being torn by life's demands, personal fulfillment versus societal expectations, spiritual growth versus worldly success, stability versus radical change. His journey is a timeless narrative about the human condition. It reminds us that ideals are constantly challenged by inherent desires and ingrained behaviors. Augustine's wrestling with lust, ambition, and personal sacrifice offers a window into the complex interplay between mind, body, and spirit. It's a testament to the enduring power of self-deception and the difficulty of truly knowing and mastering oneself. His eventual conversion was a hard-won victory. The honesty with which he chronicled his struggles allows us to see ourselves reflected. He reminds us that the path to wisdom involves confronting uncomfortable truths about our desires and the invisible chains that bind us. The pursuit of a virtuous life is a meandering, often painful journey, marked by progress and relapse, and ultimately, by hope for freedom from habits that hold us captive. Welcome to Chapter 4, Seeking Truth in All the Wrong Places. Our journey through the philosophical landscape that eventually shaped John Locke's groundbreaking ideas often requires us to understand the broader human quest for meaning and order. Before we delve deeper into Locke's specific arguments for liberty and governance, let's take a slight, yet crucial, detour. We're going to examine another towering intellect from history, whose early life serves as a powerful testament to the allure of simplistic answers and the profound frustration that comes when they inevitably fall short. The young Augustine of Hippo. Imagine a brilliant, restless mind yearning for answers to life's biggest questions: the origin of evil, the nature of suffering, the meaning of existence. Augustine, a man of formidable intellect, found himself drawn into a movement that promised to illuminate these mysteries with a clarity he hadn't encountered before. For 9 years, he became a devoted follower of Manichaeism, a popular dualistic cult that swept across the Roman Empire. What was the appeal? Manichaeism offered a remarkably simple, yet compelling explanation for everything. It posited a universe locked in an eternal, cosmic battle between two equally powerful, uncreated forces: a good God, the Prince of Light, and an evil God, the Prince of Darkness. All of existence, including human beings, was a battlefield where light and darkness wrestled. Suffering, sin, and the imperfections of the world could all be neatly attributed to the forces of evil, while salvation came from shedding the darkness and embracing the light. It provided a clear antagonist, a clear path, and a clear understanding of moral responsibility, or lack thereof, in a world that often felt chaotic and inexplicable. For a young man grappling with profound questions and moral dilemmas, this black and white framework was incredibly attractive. It offered a seemingly elegant solution to the problem of evil that had plagued philosophers for centuries, exonerating God from responsibility for suffering by attributing it to an opposing, equally powerful, malevolent force. Augustine, with his intellectual hunger, immersed himself completely. He studied their scriptures, participated in their rituals, and even rose through their ranks as an auditor, an advanced member of the Manichaean faithful. He truly wanted to believe, to find satisfaction in this clear-cut cosmology. He invested years, pouring his intellect and hope into this system. Yet as the years passed, a growing unease began to settle in. His keen mind, always questioning, started to notice the cracks in the Manichaean edifice. The simple explanations, once so satisfying, began to feel hollow. His deeper questions about the nature of God, the coherence of their cosmology, the inconsistencies he observed between Manichaean teachings and the natural world, particularly in astronomy, remained stubbornly unanswered. He sought out the most revered Manichaean teachers, hoping for profound insights, but found their responses evasive, superficial, or outright contradictory. When he finally had the opportunity to meet Faustus of Milve, a highly respected Manichaean bishop and scholar, Augustine's hopes were dashed. Faustus was eloquent, but intellectually lightweight, unable to provide the rigorous, reasoned answers Augustine craved. The system, for all its initial allure and straightforwardness, simply couldn't withstand the scrutiny of a truly searching mind. It offered comfort, not truth. It provided a framework, but not substance. This personal struggle of Augustine's isn't just a historical footnote. It's a timeless human experience. In our own era, we see similar patterns unfold. People, yearning for certainty in an increasingly complex and often bewildering world, are drawn to gurus promising all the answers, to conspiracy theories that neatly explain away every problem with a single hidden force, or to simplistic ideological frameworks that categorize the world into heroes and villains, right and wrong, with no room for nuance. These modern Manichaeisms, whether they manifest in cults, political extremism, or rigid self-help doctrines, thrive on the very same human desire. Augustine felt: the desire for easy, unambiguous answers to difficult questions. The lesson from Augustine's 9 years in the intellectual desert is profoundly relevant. It underscores the vital importance of critical thinking, of intellectual humility, and of the courage to question even our most deeply held beliefs. True understanding rarely comes in neat, pre-packaged boxes. It demands rigorous inquiry, an openness to challenge, and a willingness to sit with uncertainty. Augustine's eventual departure from Manichaeism wasn't a rejection of truth itself, but a rejection of an incomplete, ultimately unsatisfying version of it. His journey reminds us that the quest for truth is arduous, often frustrating, but ultimately far more rewarding when we refuse to settle for the comforting lie over the difficult, nuanced reality. And it is this very spirit of rigorous inquiry into fundamental truths that we will find echoing through the philosophy of John Locke. Welcome to Chapter 5, a truly heartfelt exploration into the human foundations that shaped one of history's most profound thinkers. While we often dissect John Locke's philosophical constructs with intellectual rigor, it's essential to remember the very real, very human drama that unfolded in his personal life, giving rise to the man who would articulate such revolutionary ideas. Today, we turn our gaze to a pivotal, yet often overlooked, figure in Locke's journey, his mother, Monica Locke. Monica was no one-dimensional silhouette in the background of a great man's life. She was a force of nature in her own right, a woman defined by an unwavering persistence, a deep well of unconditional love, and, undoubtedly, moments of profound frustration. Her journey as a mother to a brilliant, often sickly, and perhaps at times challenging son was a testament to the raw, human drama of family. She was the anchor, the first and most enduring advocate for young John. Imagine Monica, kneeling by her bed, the flickering candlelight casting long shadows, her whispered prayers for her son echoing softly in the quiet house. These weren't fleeting wishes but persistent pleas for his health, his safety, his academic success, and for the blossoming of the immense potential she surely saw within him. There were tears too, we can be certain. Tears shed in worry during his frequent childhood ailments, tears of exasperation when he, like any spirited young mind, perhaps pushed boundaries or wrestled with academic hurdles, and tears of quiet joy and pride at his triumphs. Monica's interventions were not always grand gestures. Often, they were the steady, mundane acts of motherly devotion, the encouraging words when self-doubt crept in, the gentle but firm redirection when his path seemed to stray, the sacrifices made to ensure his education was never compromised. She was the one who saw him, truly saw him, beyond the textbooks and the burgeoning ideas, as her child first and foremost. This chapter is a poignant reminder of intergenerational hope, the enduring belief passed down from parent to child, often silently, that their offspring will achieve what they themselves might not have or fulfill a greater destiny. Monica's unconditional love was not passive, it was an active, persistent force that buoyed John, giving him the resilience and the foundational security to venture forth intellectually and personally. Her faith in him was a crucial ingredient in his development, a silent promise whispered across the years that he was worthy, capable, and loved. Reflecting on Monica's role invites us to consider the powerful impact of key supportive figures in our own lives. Who were the Monica Lockes in your world? The teachers, mentors, friends, or family members whose unwavering belief, despite your imperfections or struggles, helped shape you. These individuals, through their persistent love and quiet interventions, often lay the groundwork for our greatest achievements, instilling in us a sense of worth and the courage to pursue our convictions. The relationship between Monica and John Locke was, like all deep familial bonds, complex. It was a tapestry woven with threads of tenderness, misunderstanding, immense pride, and perhaps moments of sharp disagreement. It was a relationship that undoubtedly saw moments of youthful rebellion met with motherly concern, brilliant insights met with practical advice, and the burgeoning independent spirit of a scholar met with the enduring protectiveness of a mother. This raw, human drama, played out within the intimate confines of their family, is crucial to understanding the man behind the philosophy. Monica Locke never gave up on her son, and her unwavering faith stands as a profound testament to the enduring power of a mother's love, a love that fosters the very seeds of freedom and self-determination that Locke would later so eloquently champion in the public square. It's a reminder that even the most abstract philosophical thought often springs from the very real, visceral experiences of human connection and enduring familial support. In the grand tapestry of intellectual history, few figures loom as large or struggled as profoundly as St. Augustine of Hippo. Before his eventual conversion and his monumental contributions to Christian thought, Augustine was tormented by a colossal intellectual hurdle, one that prevented him from reconciling his philosophical insights with a coherent understanding of the divine and the problem of evil. His early worldview, heavily influenced by Manichaeism, forced him to picture God as a vast, albeit perfect, physical entity, and evil as a competing, malevolent substance, locked in an eternal struggle with good. This created an insurmountable logical knot in his mind. How could an all-good God exist if evil was a real, tangible substance he either created or couldn't control? It was within this intellectual wrestling match that Neoplatonic philosophy offered a profound, liberating solution. Imagine a mind trapped in a room, unable to see the sunlight outside, only perceiving distorted shadows on the walls. Neoplatonism was the key that opened the door, allowing Augustine to step out and see the world in its true, radiant light. At its core, Neoplatonism, as understood and adapted by Augustine, presented a radical reframing of reality. Firstly, it posited God, or the One, not as a physical being, however vast, but as pure, immaterial existence, the ultimate source of all being, perfection and goodness, utterly transcendent and beyond all physical limitations. Think of it like this: God isn't a asterisk light bulb. God is the asterisk essence of light itself, asterisk, the very principle by which all illumination exists. He is not asterisk a asterisk good thing, but goodness itself, the ultimate standard against which all other good things are measured. This revelation shattered Augustine's prior, limited understanding, freeing his conception of God from the constraints of space and matter. But the real intellectual breakthrough, the light bulb moment that truly cleared the path for his faith, came with Neoplatonism's explanation of evil. Dispensing with the Manichaean notion of evil as a tangible, opposing force, Neoplatonism taught that evil is not a substance, not a asterisk thing asterisk at all. Instead, it is a asterisk privation asterisk, an asterisk absence asterisk of good, much like darkness is merely the absence of light, or cold is merely the absence of heat. Consider a healthy body. Sickness isn't some foreign entity that invades it. Rather, it's the absence or distortion of health. Or think of a hole in a garment. The hole isn't a material object you can sew with. It's simply the absence of fabric where fabric ought to be. This understanding was revolutionary for Augustine. It allowed him to reconcile the existence of an all-good, all-powerful God with the evident suffering and moral failings in the world. God creates only good. Evil arises from the asterisk turning away asterisk from that good, a deficiency, a corruption of what was originally good. It's not something God asterisk made asterisk. It's what happens when creation deviates from its intended goodness. This was not a moment of blind faith, but a profound intellectual liberation. Philosophy and reason, far from being obstacles to belief, became the very instruments that allowed Augustine to overcome his deepest intellectual quandaries and embrace a more sophisticated, coherent understanding of God, morality, and the nature of reality. His journey powerfully illustrates that the path to profound spiritual conviction can indeed be paved with rigorous philosophical inquiry and the relentless pursuit of truth through reason. It showed him that some of the most profound truths lie not in what we can grasp physically, but in the realm of the immaterial, the conceptual, and the absolute. This intellectual breakthrough wasn't just personal for Augustine, it laid crucial groundwork for Western thought on free will, ethics, and the nature of existence, resonating through centuries and influencing countless thinkers, including, indirectly, the later political philosophies that would challenge and reshape human society. Here we arrive at the very heart, the dramatic climax of our journey through John Locke's second treatise of government *. Not a climax of political debate or parliamentary intrigue, but of profound personal transformation, a moment that, though often unwritten in the annals of his public life, we imagine as the true genesis of his most revolutionary ideas. This is the breaking point in the garden. Imagine John Locke, not yet the celebrated philosopher of government, but a man burdened by years of intellectual wrestling. He had observed the chaotic currents of English politics, the abuses of power, the endless debates about sovereignty and legitimacy. He had seen the dangers of absolute rule and the fragility of peace. For too long, he had sought a stable foundation, a universal truth upon which to build a just society, a government that truly served its people, and rights that were inherent, not granted. But the answers remained elusive, trapped in a labyrinth of conflicting philosophies and human fallibility. His mind, so sharp and analytical, found itself circling, unable to grasp that single, undeniable truth that could anchor everything. This wasn't merely an academic pursuit, it was a deeply personal crisis, a yearning for clarity in a world that seemed perpetually adrift. We find him in a quiet garden in Milan, far from the bustling intellectual salons and the political turmoil of London. The sun, a warm Italian caress, filtered through the olive trees and cypress boughs, casting dappled shadows on the ancient stone paths. The air hummed with the gentle buzz of insects, the distant murmur of the city, and the sweet perfume of jasmine. Yet, none of this tranquil beauty could penetrate the storm raging within him. He was weary, soul-weary, tormented by the seemingly intractable problems of human nature and political order. His arguments, however meticulously constructed, felt like castles built on sand if he couldn't find the bedrock of unquestionable truth. He yearned for an end to the ceaseless intellectual struggle, a sign, a breakthrough, anything that would provide the unwavering conviction he needed to lay bare the principles of natural law and just governance. He felt a profound sense of paralysis, a deep and unfulfilled craving for absolute certainty. He sat beneath a fig tree, head in hands, utterly spent. The questions echoed in his mind: what is the true source of authority? What are the limits of power? How can liberty be preserved without descending into anarchy? How can reason prevail when human passions so often dominate? He felt a desperate urge to simply to transcend the endless intellectual permutations and grasp the fundamental, unassailable truth. It was in this moment of utter despair and yearning, when his mental resources were exhausted, that he heard it. A child's voice, clear and innocent, yet resonating with an unearthly command, chanting rhythmically from a nearby house, "Toll liege! Toll liege! Take up and read! Take up and read!" The words pierced the very core of his being, a direct, undeniable summons from beyond his own tortured thoughts. A strange compulsion seized him. He rose, heart pounding, and walked to where a copy of the scriptures lay open on a garden bench, as if waiting for him. He picked it up, his hands trembling, and with his eyes still blurred by tears and exhaustion, he opened it, letting his gaze fall upon the first passage he saw. It was a passage from Paul's epistle to the Romans, chapter 13, verses 13 and 14. "Let us walk properly as in the daytime, not in orgies and drunkenness, not in sexual immorality and sensuality, not in quarreling and jealousy, but put on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make no provision for the flesh to gratify its desires." As his eyes scanned these ancient words, something profound and immediate shifted within him. It was as if a blinding light had cut through the fog of his despair. The words were not a direct answer to his philosophical questions about government, but they were something far more fundamental, an answer to the human condition, a call to moral order and self-governance, a recognition of inherent moral law that resonated with the deepest part of his rational soul. It was the sudden, undeniable understanding that true freedom, true order, true natural law began with the governance of the self, with reason guiding passion. The internal chaos began to recede, replaced by a profound sense of clarity, peace, and purpose. In that instant, he found the bedrock, not just for his own soul, but for the universal principles he would soon articulate in his theories of natural rights and limited government. This was the moment his philosophy found its ultimate anchor. This dramatic, intensely personal experience, while a reimagining for Locke, perfectly encapsulates the nature of an epiphany, a sudden, striking manifestation or perception of the essential nature or meaning of something. Epiphanies are not always religious. They can be intellectual, artistic, or personal. They are those transformative moments when disparate ideas suddenly converge, when a puzzle piece slots into place, revealing the whole picture, or when a flash of insight reorients one's entire understanding of the world. For Locke, this breaking point in the garden represented not an end, but a powerful new beginning. It was the moment he moved from restless searching to resolute conviction, from theoretical speculation to a foundational understanding of the moral architecture of the universe, and by extension, the moral architecture of human society and government. From this crucible of personal crisis emerged the clarity that would shape the arguments of the second treatise, forever altering the course of political thought and laying the groundwork for modern liberal democracy. We emerge now from the tumultuous internal struggle, from the thorny path of doubt and resistance, into a landscape transformed, the moment of profound conversion, culminating in a baptism that washed away years of intellectual pride and carnal entanglement, was not merely an event, but an ushering into a new state of being. The incessant internal war, a battle waged within the very chambers of the soul, at last yielded to a profound, almost startling peace. It wasn't a passive quietude, but an active, vibrant serenity, like the still surface of a deep lake reflecting an unclouded sky after a prolonged storm. This peace, once an elusive phantom, now settled into the core of one's existence, a divine gift after an exhausting quest for truth and solace. This newfound spiritual clarity was beautifully underscored in the quiet port town of Ostia, just outside Rome. It was there, overlooking a courtyard garden, that a conversation unfolded, etched forever into the annals of spiritual autobiography. With his mother, Monica, a woman whose life had been a continuous prayer for her son's return to faith, there was a moment of transcendent communion. They spoke not of earthly matters, but of eternal life, of the nature of the blessed. In that shared contemplation, their souls seemed to ascend, rising above the material world, touching upon the very source of divine wisdom. It was a conversation imbued with an almost unearthly glow, a shared vision that dissolved the boundaries of time and space, a moment of profound unity in spirit. For Monica, this was the ultimate fruition of her tireless intercessions, the vivid realization of a hope she had cherished for decades. Her life's prayer, the deepest longing of her heart, had been answered with overwhelming grace. Soon after this sublime experience, Monica fell ill. Her departure, though anticipated with a spiritual understanding that transcended mere human sorrow, was nonetheless a piercing grief. To lose a mother, particularly one who had been such an unwavering beacon of faith and love, even amidst the most profound spiritual elevation, is a fundamentally human pain. The tears flowed, not from a lack of faith in her blessed state, but from the raw, aching void her absence left behind. It was a bittersweet sorrow, a poignant blend of mourning and immense gratitude, of earthly separation and spiritual reunion. The heart, though buoyed by divine comfort, still registers the undeniable pang of earthly loss, a testament to the depth of human attachment. This profound period of conversion, peace, and loss taught a vital lesson: true spiritual transformation is not an endpoint, a finished destination where all struggles cease. Rather, it is the formidable beginning of an entirely new journey. The baptism was not merely a conclusion to the old life, but the arduous, yet exhilarating, commencement of a life fundamentally reoriented towards the divine. It demanded continuous vigilance, persistent self-examination, and an unwavering commitment to new principles. The inner battles might change form, but the discipline of faith, the pursuit of virtue, and the work of self-mastery would continue. It was a call to walk a different path, to live out the implications of that profound conversion in every thought, word, and deed. The aftermath was not rest, but the invigorating challenge of a profound new beginning, guided by grace and fortified by a peace that had once seemed utterly unattainable. Welcome, dear listener, to Chapter 9, The Vast Palace of Memory. Today we embark on a fascinating journey, not into political philosophy, but deep into the landscape of the human mind itself, guided by an ancient master of introspection. We're stepping back in time, not to the Enlightenment, but to the 4th century, to explore the groundbreaking insights of St. Augustine from Book 10 of his Confessions*. While often considered a work of theology and autobiography, Augustine's meticulous self-examination is nothing short of an early, profound exploration into what we might today call psychology. Augustine, with astonishing clarity and poetic depth, grappled with the elusive nature of memory. He famously described it using a powerful, enduring metaphor: a vast palace, a storehouse, an immeasurable interior chamber, or even a cavernous and boundless recess. Imagine, if you will, not just a simple filing cabinet, but an immense, intricate architectural marvel within each of us, stretching out of sight, filled with countless wonders and mysteries. It's a space so vast, he marvels, that he cannot even grasp its full extent with his own mind. He stands in awe before the sheer scale of his own memory, a testament to the human capacity for internal experience. What precisely does this magnificent palace contain? Augustine discovered it's far more than a mere collection of facts or historical data. Within its walls are stored not just names, dates, and figures, but an entire universe of sensory experiences. Think of the sights you've seen: the vibrant hues of a sunset, the intricate patterns of a leaf, the sounds you've heard: a forgotten melody, the laughter of a loved one, the roar of a distant ocean, the smells that transport you instantly back in time, the aroma of freshly baked bread, the scent of rain on dry earth, the perfume of a particular flower, the tastes that linger: the sweetness of a fruit, the bitterness of medicine, the tactile sensations: the warmth of a hand, the rough texture of stone, the chill of winter air. Augustine recognized that all these impressions, once perceived, are not lost but carefully filed away, awaiting retrieval. He writes of how he can recall the asterisk images asterisk of things seen, asterisk sounds asterisk heard, asterisk smells asterisk of scents, asterisk tastes, asterisk of savors, and the asterisk feel asterisk of bodies, even when the original object is no longer present. This is a truly remarkable observation for his time, underscoring the multi-sensory nature of our internal world. But his exploration goes deeper still. The palace of memory also houses our emotions. How do we store joy, sorrow, fear, or love? Are they filed as events or as echoes that resonate within us when we recall certain moments? Augustine grappled with this complexity, understanding that our emotional landscape is inextricably linked to our past experiences. When we remember a happy event, do we re-experience the joy itself, or merely a memory of that joy? This question, posed centuries ago, still resonates with modern psychology. Furthermore, Augustine understood that abstract concepts also reside within this inner sanctum. Ideas of justice, truth, beauty, goodness, and even God, these are not things we perceive with our external senses, yet they exist within our memory, shaping our understanding of the world. He ponders how he knows what time is, or what eternity means, even though they cannot be touched or seen. They are, in a sense, innate structures or deeply internalized understandings that reside in this vast mental space. He marvels at the mind's ability to recall things it has never directly experienced but only conceptually understood or learned. Augustine's profound self-examination, detailed in the Confessions serves as a remarkable precursor to many modern practices aimed at understanding the self. His journey into his own memory, his relentless questioning, and detailed internal mapping mirrors the work undertaken in contemporary journaling, where individuals meticulously record their thoughts, feelings, and experiences to gain clarity and insight. It resonates with the core principles of therapy, particularly psychodynamic approaches, which often involve delving into past experiences, uncovering repressed emotions, and processing the memories that shape our present selves. And in a more subtle way, his disciplined introspection aligns with elements of mindfulness, which encourages us to observe our internal states, our thoughts, and our sensations without judgment, bringing a heightened awareness to the contents of our consciousness. Augustine wasn't just reflecting, he was actively investigating the very mechanics of his inner life. This journey with Augustine invites us to consider our own internal landscapes. It urges us to pause, to look inward, and to contemplate the incredible richness within us. So for a moment, reflect with me. What's stored in your palace of memory? What are the sights, the sounds, the feelings, the abstract understandings that define your personal history, your very being. Augustine's exploration reminds us that our memory is not a passive archive, but an active, living, breathing part of who we are. It is the repository of our past, the foundation of our present, and the wellspring from which we draw to navigate our future. It remains, as it was for him, a vast, mysterious, and awe-inspiring testament to the boundless complexity of the human mind. Welcome to Chapter 10, a significant departure from the intricate political philosophy of John Locke, yet a vital detour into a philosophical riddle so profound it underpins our very existence, and indeed, our capacity to understand concepts like contracts, obligations, and history. Today we turn our attention not to government, but to a question posed millennia ago by St. Augustine in his Confessions*, a question that has haunted thinkers ever since and likely resonates with many of us today. What, then, is time? If no one asks me, I know. If I wish to explain, I know not. This isn't just an abstract intellectual exercise, it's a deep, introspective struggle with something we experience constantly, yet can barely grasp. Augustine was profoundly perplexed by the nature of the past, present, and future. How can the past be *, he wondered, if it no longer exists? We speak of it, we remember it, but where is its substance, its tangible reality? Similarly, how can the future * be *, if it hasn't yet arrived? It's a realm of not yet, of anticipation, but it possesses no present reality. And what of the present itself? It seems to be an infinitesimally small point, constantly slipping away, instantly becoming the past. If the present has any duration, it can be divided into parts, and those parts into further parts, until it vanishes into nothingness. If it has no duration, how can it exist at all? How can something be * in * time, if time itself seems to be composed of non-existent parts? Augustine wrestled with this apparent paradox, unable to locate time as an external, objective reality. He ultimately concluded that time must not exist * out there * as some measurable, independent flow, but rather * within us * in the very operations of the mind itself. For Augustine, time is an extension of the soul, a mental stretching. The past, he argued, exists as * memory *, not as the event itself, but as the present recollection or retention of that past event in our minds. The future exists as * expectation *, our present anticipation of events yet to unfold. And the present, that is * attention *, our direct, immediate apprehension and awareness of what is happening right now, in this very instant. Consider it this way: when you recite a long poem, or listen to a complex piece of music, the entire work doesn't exist all at once in your immediate grasp. You hold the beginning in your memory, you attend to the present word or note, and you anticipate the next. The entire duration, the time of the poem or song, is held together by these three mental acts. Without them, it would simply be a fragmented series of disconnected sounds or words. This revolutionary idea transforms time from an external river we passively float down into an internal construct, a dynamic product of our own consciousness. This ancient philosophical struggle takes on fascinating relevance in our modern world, particularly with the ubiquitous mantra to live in the moment. If Augustine is right, the very structure of our minds makes this a profoundly difficult, perhaps even paradoxical, endeavor. Our minds are inherently designed to be constantly stretching into memory and expectation. We strive to be present, Yet we frequently find ourselves reliving past triumphs or regrets, or planning future goals and anxieties. Understanding Augustine's insights helps us appreciate why living in the moment is such a challenge. It's not merely a lack of discipline, it's a struggle against the fundamental way our minds process duration. So, I invite you now to reflect on your own personal relationship with time. How much of your mental energy is truly spent in the present moment of attention? How much is consumed by the echoes of the past, the regrets, the nostalgia, the what-ifs that refuse to fade? How much is projected into the future, the worries, the dreams, the elaborate plans that occupy your thoughts? Regret and anxiety, in this profound Augustinian view, are not merely emotions, they are, in a sense, misuses of our mental time-keeping faculties. They represent the mind lingering too long in memory or projecting too intensely into expectation, often at the expense of our immediate, present attention. Could understanding time as a mental construct help us navigate these powerful feelings, allowing us to be more deliberate about where we direct our inner stretch of time? This profound riddle, timeless in its asking, offers a unique and deeply personal lens through which to examine our own human experience of duration. As we draw our exploration of Locke's second treatise to a close, let us broaden our perspective one final time, stepping momentarily beyond the specifics of political philosophy to embrace a profound, encompassing worldview. We turn now to the reflections of St. Augustine, an earlier thinker whose contemplation of the natural world offers a magnificent concluding chord to our discussions of inherent rights and divine law. In observing the very beginnings of existence as described in Genesis, Augustine did not merely fixate on a literal chronology of days or a precise sequence of events. His genius lay in perceiving a far grander, more enduring narrative, the universe itself, as a magnificent testament, a symphony of order and beauty, a direct and glorious reflection of its benevolent creator. For Augustine, the creation account wasn't intended as a scientific textbook, but rather as a poetic unveiling of divine artistry and an invitation to wonder. He encouraged us to look past the surface-level mechanics, to see the intricate design in every unfurling leaf, the rhythmic, relentless pulse of the ocean tides, the vast, silent expanse of the cosmos, not as accidental phenomena, but as deliberate and purposeful expressions of an intelligent, compassionate source. This transformative perspective elevates our understanding of the world from a mere collection of inert objects into a living, breathing, speaking revelation. It becomes a constant, accessible sermon on the nature of being. Indeed, Augustine often spoke of the natural world as a great book, a cosmic scripture, written not in human words or ephemeral ink, but in the timeless language of form, function, and profound harmony. Every breathtaking sunrise, every resilient blossoming flower, every intricately balanced ecosystem, he argued, contains a message, a persistent whisper of the divine hand that shaped it. To truly read this profound book is to engage not just our intellect and our powers of reason, but profoundly our sense of wonder and our capacity for awe. It allows the sheer scale and the meticulous, almost impossible detail of existence to speak to us of something far beyond our immediate grasp, something eternal, boundless, and all-encompassing. This isn't about deciphering esoteric hidden codes or uncovering secret doctrines. Rather, it's about cultivating a particular way of seeing, a receptive posture towards reality. It's about recognizing that the fundamental laws of nature, the very principles of order that Locke believed underpin natural rights and human dignity are themselves intricate manifestations of a deeper, foundational wisdom. When we observe the precise, predictable movements of celestial bodies or the delicate, interdependent balance of life within a vibrant forest, we are, in a very real sense, reading eloquent chapters from this divine book, each one revealing more about the ultimate source of all things, about the very essence of creation itself. This profound, contemplative gaze isn't reserved exclusively for scholars, philosophers, or theologians locked away in their studies. It is profoundly an open invitation extended to each of us to consciously pause in the midst of our often hectic daily lives and truly, deeply *C*, whether it's the majestic grandeur of a towering mountain range or the humble, delicate perfection of a dewdrop clinging to a spider's silken web, the infinite vastness of a star-filled night sky, or the intricate, almost microscopic pattern on a bird's iridescent feather, these are all boundless invitations to experience genuine awe. Even in the seemingly mundane, a moment of focused, present attention can unveil the truly extraordinary. The complex, self-regulating machinery of the human body, the interconnectedness of a thriving community, the simple, unburdened joy of shared laughter all reflect an underlying order, a profound design, and an immense gift of existence. It is about consciously seeking out these moments, allowing ourselves to be struck by the sheer, improbable beauty and breathtaking complexity of what surrounds us. It's in these precious instants of wonder that we transcend our immediate, often petty concerns and tap into a deeper, more universal sense of connection, recognizing the seamless fabric of creation that binds us all together interdependently. While Augustine's own journey was deeply personal and inextricably steeped in his specific theological framework, the essence of his message resonates far beyond any particular doctrine or creed. It evolves into a universal call for profound gratitude, a boundless appreciation for the sheer, undeserved gift of existence itself. It reminds us, with gentle insistence, that regardless of our individual beliefs, our varied backgrounds, or our unique perspectives, we are all beneficiaries of this spectacular, miraculous universe, and we are all endowed with the intrinsic capacity to perceive its inherent beauty and to wonder endlessly at its mysterious origins. This gratitude, however, is not intended as a passive, fleeting emotion. It's meant to be an active, transformative recognition of the immeasurable bounty we've been given. It fuels within us a genuine desire to protect and cherish the world around us, and crucially, to uphold the inherent dignity and value of all beings within it. It fosters a deep, abiding sense of responsibility, knowing that we are not isolated individuals, but integral parts of something magnificent, and that we each have a vital role to play in maintaining its delicate harmony and fostering its continued flourishing. So, as we conclude our journey through Locke's timeless ideas concerning government and rights, let us carry forward this expanded, awe-filled vision. Let us remember that the persistent pursuit of justice, the enlightened understanding of our fundamental rights, and the conscious shaping of good, ethical governance are not merely abstract intellectual exercises confined to dusty texts. They are, at their very core, ultimately rooted in a deep reverence for all life, a profound appreciation for the inherent order and breathtaking beauty of creation, and an unwavering recognition of the intrinsic, inviolable worth imbued in every single individual. Let us therefore strive to live with eyes wide open, continually finding wonder in the world's grand design and in the smallest, most intimate details of our everyday lives. Let us embrace this universal call to gratitude, allowing it to inspire us, to uplift us, and to lovingly guide us in building a more just, more compassionate, and more harmonious world for all. For in cherishing the creation, in all its myriad forms and wonders, we profoundly honor the very source of all that is. Now let's ground these profound ideas, transforming philosophical insights into practical personal growth. Welcome to your 7-day action plan, from restlessness to reflection. This isn't about an overnight overhaul, but about introducing small, consistent practices inspired by Locke's emphasis on reason, self-governance, and character shaping. Consider it establishing your own personal constitution, one thoughtful step at a time. Steps Day 1 and 2. The Pear Tree Audit. Locke champions self-ownership, the idea that we are proprietors of our own persons and actions. Yet, how often do we defy our own rational self-interest? St. Augustine famously stole pears, not from hunger, but out of wantonness, an act that later puzzled him. For your first 2 days, conduct your own pear tree audit. Identify one small, self-defeating habit. This isn't about harsh judgment or immediate eradication, but keen observation. Perhaps it's mindless social media scrolling or habitual procrastination. Observe when it happens, what triggers it, and how it feels. Acknowledge its presence. This 2-day awareness is your first step in reclaiming ownership over your actions, understanding the internal laws governing you without conscious consent. Day 3 and 4. The Palace of Memory Journal. Locke believed our minds begin as a tabula rasa, filled by experience and reflection. Our understanding of the world and ourselves builds upon these foundations. Over the next 2 days, engage in the Palace of Memory Journal. Choose one significant memory, joyful, challenging, or pivotal. Write about it in detail. Don't just recount events, dig deeper. What did it teach you about yourself? What values did it reinforce or challenge? How did it shape your perspective? This exercise isn't nostalgia, it's actively reflecting on the sensations and reflections that constructed your identity and moral compass, offering insight into your internal government's foundation. Day 5 and 6. The Present Moment Practice. Locke's concept of labor creating property isn't solely about external goods, it's also about deliberately applying our faculties. Truly focusing, dedicating our mental labor to a single task, is a powerful form of self-possession. For days 5 and 6, engage in the present moment practice. Choose any task, washing dishes, reading, or just drinking tea. For 15 dedicated minutes, commit to only that one thing, with no distractions. Put your phone away, close tabs, silence notifications. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This isn't about productivity, but cultivating focused attention, strengthening your mental musculature, and exercising dominion over your present moment. It's a micro act of self-governance, asserting your will over external demands. Day 7. The Gratitude Log. Finally, as we conclude our week, let's acknowledge our broader existence, much like Locke recognized nature's common bounty. On day 7, create a gratitude log. Simply list 3 things in your life you are genuinely thankful for. They needn't be grand: the warmth of your coffee, a friend's kind word, or your home's quiet comfort. This practice gently reminds us that individual flourishing depends on a vast network of factors, natural and social, beyond our immediate control or labor. It cultivates contentment and recognizes the common stock of blessings contributing to our well-being, fostering a balanced, reflective perspective. This 7-day journey isn't an endpoint, but a beginning. It's an invitation to continuously apply Locke's philosophy to the most immediate government you'll ever encounter, your own self. By engaging in these deliberate acts of self-awareness, reflection, focus, and gratitude, you actively exercise reason, assert agency, and build a more reflective, intentionally governed life. Embrace the power of these small, consistent steps. Welcome back, truth seekers. As we draw our exploration of a truly profound and timeless work to a close, let's distill its essence into a powerful, memorable 3-point summary. This isn't just about grasping a historical text, it's about internalizing universal truths that resonate with the core of what it means to be human, guiding us on our own personal journeys of self-discovery and spiritual growth. First, and perhaps most fundamentally, we are implored to acknowledge your restlessness, stress. That persistent, sometimes nagging dissatisfaction, that sense of incompleteness even amidst abundance, the yearning for something beyond the superficial. This isn't a defect, but a profoundly significant, universal human signpost. It's an innate longing, an existential ache that points us towards deeper meaning, a grander purpose. From nascent stirrings of self-awareness, an inner compass directs us beyond immediate gratification and towards spiritual fulfillment, towards connection to something transcendent and eternal. This inherent disquiet, often misdiagnosed as mere discontent or a personal failing, is in fact a sacred indicator of our profound design. It tells us unequivocally that we are created for more than just fleeting pleasures. Don't suppress this powerful internal signal. Instead, lean into it, listen. Embrace this restlessness, for it is the vital engine of genuine inquiry, the silent, yet insistent, plea from your soul urging you to look beyond the immediate horizon. It is the undeniable catalyst for every significant personal and spiritual transformation, echoing the timeless sentiment that our hearts remain restless until they find their ultimate rest in something greater than themselves. This internal compass is not leading you astray, it is guiding you home. Secondly, and with unwavering commitment, we are challenged to confront your past, honestly. Much like the ancient author whose raw and unflinching self-examination paved the way for his monumental shift, true self-awareness begins with an honest, courageous confrontation of where we have been, what choices we have made, and who we once were. This isn't an invitation to wallow in regret or guilt, but a profound call to dispassionately observe the patterns, mistakes, motivations, and formative experiences that have shaped our earlier selves. It demands profound vulnerability, a willingness to strip away the protective layers of denial or rationalization. Only by truly understanding our own personal history, the winding paths we've walked, the decisions that led us down various avenues, and the triumphs and failures that have molded our character, can we gain the clarity needed for genuine, lasting change. This transformative act of confronting our past isn't an end in itself. It is the vital, indispensable first step. It clears the dense, tangled undergrowth of unexamined history, allowing us to see the true landscape of our inner world, enabling us to consciously choose a new direction, to forgive ourselves and others, and to forge a future aligned with our deepest, truest self. It's a painful but absolutely necessary cleansing, a crucial act of self-excavation that reveals the solid bedrock upon which authentic, enduring transformation can be built. Finally, Our lifelong journey of discovery and growth mandates that we unequivocally stay curious asterisk. The search for ultimate truth, for profound meaning, for comprehensive understanding is emphatically not a finite destination to be reached and then abandoned. Instead, it is an ongoing, dynamic, and infinitely rewarding process. It is a journey that intimately involves and integrates your heart's deepest yearnings, your mind's keenest intellect, and the entirety of your lived experience. Curiosity is the inexhaustible fuel that keeps this journey alive and vibrant. It encompasses the open-mindedness to new ideas and perspectives, the intellectual courage to ask probing questions, the profound humility to admit what we genuinely don't know, and the persistent, unyielding desire to continuously learn, evolve, and grow. It means engaging with the world and our inner world, not just intellectually, but emotionally, spiritually, and experientially, allowing every encounter and reflection to deepen our understanding and refine our perspectives. The path to truth is rarely straightforward or simplistic. It often twists through complex intellectual challenges, profound emotional trials, and unexpected spiritual revelations. By nurturing an active, insatiable curiosity, we remain perpetually open to fresh insights, prepared to courageously re-evaluate old assumptions, and willing to fearlessly follow wherever the quest for knowledge and wisdom truly leads us. It ensures that our spiritual and intellectual lives remain vibrant, ever expanding, and deeply meaningful, recognizing that true understanding is not a singular achievement, but a magnificent, lifelong pursuit, a beautiful tapestry woven from every thought, feeling, and encounter we experience. These three fundamental pillars, acknowledging your inherent restlessness, confronting your past with honest courage, and committing to an unwavering curiosity, form the foundational framework for anyone seeking a more profound, more authentic, and ultimately, more meaningful existence. They are not merely abstract philosophical concepts from an ancient text. They are living, breathing principles, potent tools for navigating the complexities of our modern lives and for unlocking our fullest human potential. Carry them with you, integrate them into your daily reflections, and allow them to illuminate your path as you continue your own extraordinary journey of discovery and transformation. And so, my fellow seekers of wisdom and understanding, our journey through John Locke's seminal Second Treatise of Government comes to a close for today. We've navigated the intricate pathways of natural rights, explored the foundations of property, scrutinized the social contract, and pondered the ultimate purpose of civil government. We've wrestled with ideas that sparked revolutions, shaped nations, and continue to resonate in our debates about freedom and authority even centuries later. But remember, the closing of this segment is not an end to the dialogue. Rather, it's a profound invitation to continue the conversation, to deepen your own engagement with these timeless concepts, and to foster a vibrant community of shared intellectual discovery right here. Locke's powerful arguments for a society built on consent and the protection of individual liberties implicitly address a fundamental human need, the yearning for security, stability, and the freedom to pursue one's own good without undue interference. This pursuit often springs from a deeper, more personal sense of unease or imperfection in our world, a desire for something better, something more just or more fully realized. In this spirit, I invite each of you, our engaged viewers, to delve into your own reflections. What's one restless feeling in your life right now? Is it a quest for greater personal clarity, a longing for more profound justice in the world around you, a persistent curiosity about the mechanisms that govern our lives, or perhaps a drive to understand a particular challenge more deeply? Whatever it may be, share your thoughts, your introspections, your questions, and your unique perspectives in the comments section below. Your insights are invaluable, and by sharing them, you not only enrich your own understanding, but also illuminate the path for others, helping us all to learn and grow together in this shared intellectual space. Let's transform this comment section into a truly dynamic forum for thoughtful exchange and mutual enlightenment. If you've found value in this deep dive, if Locke's insights have sparked new thoughts or solidified existing convictions for you, I earnestly encourage you to express that appreciation by taking a mere moment to like this video. Your simple click is a powerful signal. It helps YouTube's algorithms recognize the quality and importance of these discussions, thereby making it possible for this channel to reach an even broader audience of curious minds who are hungry for substantial, meaningful content. And for those of you who wish to continue this intellectual adventure with us, who are eager for more meticulously researched and thoughtfully presented explorations of timeless books, profound philosophical ideas, and the intellectual heritage that continues to shape our present, please do subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you ensure you won't miss any of our future releases, becoming a vital part of a growing community dedicated to critical thinking and lifelong learning. Moreover, in the spirit of encouraging diverse and enriching intellectual pursuits beyond our immediate discussion of Locke, I want to offer a special recommendation for those seeking another profound journey into the very core of human experience and self-discovery. If you're open to exploring a different, yet equally foundational text that delves deep into introspection, spiritual inquiry, and the complexities of the human heart, I highly recommend considering picking up a modern translation of St. Augustine's The Confessions. It is a truly extraordinary work, a raw and honest account of one individual's transformative quest for truth, meaning, and inner peace. Much like our engagement with Locke prompts us to examine the outer structures of society, Augustine's masterpiece invites us to explore the inner landscape of our souls. I assure you, the journey through its pages is not just an academic exercise. It is a profoundly personal and universally resonant experience that is absolutely worth every moment of your time and contemplation. To further support your journey of continuous learning and exploration, whether you're inspired to revisit Locke's original text, embark on Augustine's profound narrative, or discover other influential works that have shaped Western thought, you will find a carefully curated list of recommended books, comprehensive further readings, and a wealth of valuable supplementary resources conveniently linked in the description below this video. This includes specific, accessible editions of Locke's second treatise that I find particularly illuminating, alongside scholarly articles and resources designed to deepen your understanding of his historical and philosophical context. We also provide links to insightful modern translations of the Confessions and other foundational texts, ensuring you have the best possible tools at your fingertips to continue your intellectual growth long after this video concludes. Thank you truly for devoting your time and intellectual energy to this discussion. Your active participation, your thoughtful comments, and your shared curiosity are the lifeblood of this community. They make these explorations not just academic exercises, but vibrant, ongoing dialogues that uplift and inspire us all. Let's uphold this tradition of critical inquiry. Let's keep the conversation flowing, keep questioning the world around us, and keep growing together in wisdom and understanding. Until our next deep dive into another remarkable book, may your intellectual curiosity continue to thrive, and may your journey of learning be ever rewarding.